Night has a special way of softening everything, even the busy parts of your mind. Those bright, restless rooms where tomorrow's lists keep flickering begin to dim, one small light at a time. And in that gentle dimming, you find yourself here, in a quiet place that feels made for slowing down. You are standing in a small archive room, the kind that exists behind a museum's public halls, behind the voices and footsteps, behind the polished displays. Out there, the world keeps moving. In here, it becomes a whisper. A single lamp pools warm light onto a table of pale wood. The air is cool but not cold, more like the calm breath of stone that has learned patience. Somewhere a vent hums softly, and beneath it you can almost imagine an older sound, the faint hush of reeds, the slow lapping of water against a bank. On the table lies a clay fragment, no larger than your hand. It is ordinary at first glance, dull, earthy, a soft brown with tiny grains caught in its skin. But when you lean closer, you see the shallow marks. Small wedges pressed into the clay long ago. Lines that were once quick, confident movements of a stylus, now resting like quiet footprints. You do not need to understand the symbols to feel them. If you listen closely, really closely, you might even hear an echo of that ancient moment. The stylus scratching lightly, a dry, gentle sound as if time itself were being written down in an ASMR hush. And that is when the simplest thought arrives, like a feather landing on water. How many lives have passed between that hand and yours? You rest your fingers on the edge of the fragment. The clay is cool. Not lifeless cool, more like river stones at dusk, holding the memory of daylight. Have you ever felt time stretched out just because of a tiny moment? Like watching the steam rise from a cup of tea? Let that question drift through you without needing an answer. Just let it float the way steam floats. Upward, slow, and disappearing into quiet. Because tonight's story is not a lesson you must hold tightly. It is a place you can rest. Before we drift deeper into tonight's gentle journey, remember to subscribe to Ancient Sleep Story. Here you'll always find peaceful stories that soothe the heart and quiet the mind. Where are you listening from tonight? Leave a comment. Your presence adds warmth to this quiet corner of the night. Now, take one slow breath in, and as you exhale, imagine the archive room widening, becoming softer. As if the walls were made of night air instead of stone. Tonight, we will follow a thread that begins in the smallest of things. A mark in clay, a memory pressed into earth. We will travel gently. Who you are right now, where you are right now, will remain safe and warm, while your imagination walks a quiet path into the deep past. Not the past of dramatic battles or loud kings or bright fires, but the past of water, reeds, wind, and patient hands. Somewhere inside the museum's catalogue, the fragment is labelled with careful ink. It is said to come from the land between rivers, from the place where the Tigris and Euphrates once braided through marshes and fields. It is associated with names that feel like soft stones in the mouth. Eridu, Uruk. In the old stories, Eridu is called the first city. Not the first place where people lived. Humans had lived under open sky for ages, but the first place where life began to gather into a steady rhythm. Canals and courtyards, granaries and temples, writing and waiting. A first city is not only walls and streets, it is a promise that tomorrow can be prepared for. And when you picture Eridu, do not picture it as an abstract point on a map. Picture it as a low place near water. A land where the ground is dark and damp, where reeds sway in long green breaths, where birds call in the distance, and the horizon lies wide and open like a bowl turned upside down. The museum's fragment seems to carry that landscape inside it. As if the clay remembers the marsh, as if it still hears the tiny ripples of the ancient canals. In the text, traditions that gathered around places like Eridu and Uruk, there are recurring images. Water beneath the earth, water on the surface, water in the sky. The Sumerians gave a name to the freshwater deep, the hidden reservoir beneath everything, the Abzu. In story and symbol, it was not frightening, it was nourishing, a quiet source. And so in this sleep story, we will let water become our metronome. Water does not rush you. Water does not argue. Water simply moves, again and again, until even sharp stone becomes smooth. You turn the fragment slightly, letting the lamplight graze the wedges. Each tiny cut catches brightness, then releases it. For a moment, the marks look like stars, small and orderly, the way constellations seem orderly when you are calm enough to see patterns. You imagine the scribe who made them. Not a distant, heroic figure, but a person with tired hands and steady practice. Someone who sat in a courtyard where the air smelled of wet clay and smoke from cooking fires. Someone who heard water nearby, always nearby. In those early centuries, around the time the earliest tablets were pressed, more than 5,000 years ago, writing was young. Its first tasks were humble, counting grain, marking deliveries, keeping track of offerings, not grand philosophy, not arguments, just the quiet management of life. And yet, even in humble records, human beings sometimes leave something more than numbers. They leave longing, they leave wonder, they leave a sense that the world is being watched over, held in a larger order. Some later texts and retellings speak of watchers, not as monsters, but as a gentle idea that the sky is not empty, that there is a kind of attention in the universe, a steady gaze that does not judge you, only notices you. In these stories, the watchers are not there to frighten. They are there like distant lighthouse beams, consistent, reliable, guiding. Here, no one rests alone. Every story from the past is a soft lantern in the dark, gently lighting our way tonight. If your day has been heavy, if your mind has been loud, let that thought settle in your chest like warmth. A soft lantern, a quiet corner, a steady light. The archive room feels even quieter now, as if it is listening with you. And in that quiet, your imagination begins to make a bridge. The clay fragment becomes more than an artifact, it becomes a doorway. You begin to picture the city that might have shaped it, the city near water, the first city, layered like a slow breath. Archaeologists speak of Eridu having many building layers, like a cake of time. In some accounts, the number is 17. 17 stages of rebuilding, each one laid gently over the last, as if the city kept tucking itself in, century after century, to stay warm against the shifting world. 17 layers. 17 blankets of dust and reed and sun. 17 quiet changes. You do not need to hold the number tightly. Just feel what it means. Time accumulating, the way silt accumulates, thin, patient, inevitable. If you could walk down through those layers, you would not fall. You would descend slowly as if on a wide staircase made of memory. And with each step, the air would change, warmer, cooler, drier, wetter. The scents would shift: smoke, clay, salt, wet plant. A staircase of time. And at the bottom, perhaps, you would find something simple: a hearth, a bowl, a footprint, a reed mat, proof that people were always here, living ordinary lives beneath extraordinary skies. This is the kind of history we are visiting tonight. Not history as a loud parade, history as a soft room with warm light, history as a canal that keeps flowing even when no one is looking. If you like, imagine yourself leaving the archive room now, not abruptly, not with a door slamming behind you, just gently, as if you are closing a book with care. The museum fades, the lamp becomes moonlight, the table becomes a riverbank, and the clay fragment in your hand becomes a small piece of the shore itself. You are standing in a marshland under a wide, star-filled sky. The air is cool and moist. Reeds brush against one another with a sound like dry paper, soft and rhythmic. Somewhere a frog calls once, then rests. Somewhere a bird shifts in its nest. You can hear water, not crashing waves, not loud rivers, just water moving through narrow channels, steady, patient, almost like breathing. Somewhere nearby, a worker warms dark bitumen in a shallow bowl. It smells sharp and earthy like rain on old wood. With slow, careful strokes, they spread it along the seams of a small reed boat, layer after layer, not in fear, but in patience, so water can stay outside and calm can stay within. In the distance, low shapes rise against the horizon. They are not sharp towers, they are gentle forms like hills made by human hands, early temple platforms, courtyards, walls that do not try to dominate the sky, only to meet it calmly. You take one slow step, then another. The ground is damp but firm, and as you walk, you notice something that makes your curiosity wake up. Just a little, not enough to disturb your calm, only enough to make your imagination glow. Ahead, near the base of a low temple mound, there is a faint light. Not firelight, not torchlight. Something cooler, like starlight, caught and held. It seems to shimmer against a surface that could be stone or clay, or perhaps a tablet resting in shadow. You do not know what it is yet. You only know that the light is waiting quietly, as if it has been waiting for a long time. And you, moving slowly, safely, warmly, are about to draw near. You move toward the faint, cool shimmer, as if you're following a lullaby you can't quite hear, only feel. Each step is unhurried. The marshland holds you gently, the way a soft mattress holds the body when it finally decides to let go. Reeds sway and settle again. A thin wind slides over the water's surface and smooths it, and the reflection of the stars becomes steadier, like a mind becoming quieter. If you like, take a slow breath in now, and as you breathe out, imagine that your thoughts are tiny ripples, spreading, fading, becoming calm water again. Ahead, the low temple mound rises from the damp earth like a patient shoulder. It is not grand in the way later monuments will be grand. It is simple, wide, and solid, made for staying. The sides are gently sloped, and on the packed path that circles it, you can see where countless feet have walked, not marching feet, but everyday feet, people going to bring water, to offer grain, to meet a neighbor, to rest in shade. Eridu feels alive, but not loud. It feels like a place where life repeats in comforting patterns. Morning light on wet reeds, midday heat in a courtyard, evening smoke drifting upward, night stars returning, again and again, until time itself feels like something you can lean against. In the distance, you can see straight, narrow canals, dark ribbons of water drawn across the land with steady intention. They are not only practical, they are beautiful in a quiet way because they show a human promise. We will guide water gently, and water will guide us back. You follow the path toward the temple's base, and as you draw closer, the shimmer becomes clearer. It is not a flame. It is not a jewel. It is a pale, silvery glint, like moonlight caught on the edge of a shell. The source seems to be a flat object resting in a shallow niche of shadow. Protected from wind and stray splashes, it might be a tablet, clay, stone, something smooth enough to carry marks. It might be a ritual object. It might be nothing more than a reflective surface left there by chance. But your calm curiosity leans in. In this place, you sense, curiosity does not have to be sharp. It can be soft, It can be the way you turn a pillow to find the cool side, the way you notice a familiar song on a distant radio, the way you look at the night sky and feel comfort rather than questions. You kneel. The earth is cool through your clothing. The smell of wet ground rises gently, like the scent after a summer rain. You reach toward the object, and just before your fingers touch it, you notice something else. A sound, not a frightening sound, a small, deliberate scratch, stylus on clay. It is so faint at first that you think you imagined it, but then it repeats, soft, measured, like someone writing in the next room while you are trying to fall asleep. And suddenly the air seems to open. The niche is no longer only shadow. It is a doorway into another quiet space, an inner room of the temple lit by oil lamps that burn low and steady. You can smell the lamps, warm fat, faint smoke, a hint of sweetness from resin. The walls are cool plaster, the floor is packed earth. And in the center, a person sits at a low table, a scribe. They are not dramatic. They are not a symbol meant to impress you. They are simply a human being doing a human task, the way people have done tasks forever, with attention, with patience, with hands that have learned a craft. Their stylus moves again, and the sound is gentle enough to be a comfort. Scratch. Pause. Scratch. The marks they press into the clay are small wedges arranged in orderly lines. You can't read them, but you feel something familiar in the act. The urge to remember, to record, to keep life from slipping away too quickly. Outside, water moves in canals. Inside, memory moves into clay. This is how cities begin, not only with buildings but with habits. Counting, measuring, waiting for seasons, noticing the sky. The scribe's shoulders rise and fall with breath, slow, steady. You find your own breathing matching it. Sometimes when you watch someone do something carefully, your mind relaxes. It doesn't have to decide anything. It can simply witness. You watch the scribe press the stylus into the clay. Their hands are stained with earth. Their fingernails carry a thin line of dust. Their wrists are strong from repetition, and for a moment you think of your own hands. What have they carried today? A phone, a steering wheel, a coffee cup, a pen, perhaps a child's hand, perhaps nothing at all except the weight of your thoughts. If tonight's story reminded you of a beautiful memory, feel free to share it below. Only when you're ready, only when it feels gentle. The inner room stays quiet. On a shelf, you notice other tablets, some smooth and new, some cracked and dried, some stacked like thin loaves of bread. Each one is a small piece of time made solid. On another shelf, there are jars, grain, seeds, dried herbs. The smell is comforting, warm, earthy, alive. This is the slow heartbeat of Eridu, not kings shouting from balconies, not battles, but a steady rhythm of survival and care. Outside the temple, the marshland glimmers. The reeds bend and straighten again. A distant bird calls once, then returns to silence. And overhead, the stars keep their patient watch. Somewhere in the old stories, people will imagine beings who watched from above, watchers, guardians, not to threaten, but to steady the world. In this moment, you don't need to decide what you believe. You only need the feeling that the sky is not indifferent, that the universe can be a quiet companion, that the night does not abandon you. Here, no one rests alone. You shift slightly and the scribe looks up. Their face is calm, lit softly from below by lamplight. The eyes are tired but kind. They do not seem startled by your presence, as if you are expected, like a dream visitor, like a thought that arrives when the mind is half asleep. They nod once, a small gesture of welcome, then they turn the tablet slightly toward you, and you see the shimmer again, now clearly, now unmistakably. It is coming from the tablet's surface, not because the tablet is magical, but because the marks catch the lamplight in a pattern that resembles something you have known since childhood, a constellation, a familiar arrangement of points and lines, like a map of stars. You lean closer and the scribe's stylus traces a wedge. Scratch. Pause. They add one more mark and the pattern becomes complete, balanced, finished, quiet. It is not an astronomical diagram in the modern sense. It is not a proof. It is not a debate. It is a gentle idea pressed into clay, that the sky has order, that seasons return, that water rises and falls, that life can be steadied by noticing. In Eridu, people learned to read the world's repeating rhythms the way a tired person learns a bedtime routine, not because it is exciting, but because it brings peace. The scribe sets the stylus down. The room feels even quieter, as if the air itself is listening. Then, slowly, the scribe lifts a second object from beside the tablets. A small, flat piece of clay, thicker than the fragment you touched in the museum, darker, more carefully shaped. It has a slight sheen, as if it has been sealed or smoothed. The edges are rounded by handling. The scribe holds it in both hands as if it matters, not because it is dangerous, because it is precious. And as they hold it, you notice that their fingers are stained with something dark. Bitumen, perhaps, the same substance you smelled near the boats. Water and clay, clay and memory, bitumen and patience. Everything here is about keeping life safe from what seeps in. The scribe offers the object to you without speaking. You take it gently. It is warm, not from fire, but from being held. And in that warmth, you feel a strange, soothing recognition, the way you recognize a song you haven't heard in years. This object is not a weapon. It is not a machine. It feels more like a symbol, a reminder that people once believed the world had an inner order, a set of quiet rules that helped everything stay in balance. Some later voices might call it a tablet of destiny. But tonight, in this calm room, it feels like something simpler, a tablet of steadiness, a tablet of knowing when to plant, when to wait, when to seal a boat, when to trust the returning stars. You hold it close, and the scribe watches you with the faintest smile, like someone pleased that you understand without needing to explain. Then, beyond the temple walls, the sound of water shifts. It changes in pitch, in rhythm, still gentle, but different. As if a distant channel has opened, as if the marsh is drawing a longer breath. You turn your head toward the doorway. Outside, moonlight lies over the reeds in silver bands. The canals glint like quiet mirrors, and far off, beyond the low buildings, the horizon seems to brighten just slightly, as if starlight is gathering in one place. Not a storm, not fire. A soft, concentrated glow, like a lantern being lifted very slowly. And in your hands, the clay tablet seems to catch that distant glow and return it faintly as if responding. The scribe stands. No urgency, no fear. Only the calm sense that something is calling you onward. They gesture toward the doorway, toward the water, toward the waiting light, and you realize the story is ready to carry you beyond the temple, into the open night, into the canals, the reeds, and the long, slow path where myths and daily life blend together like moonlight on water. You rise, still holding the tablet close, and you step toward the doorway where the marsh air is cool and kind. You step out of the temple's inner room and into the open night, and the air touches your face like cool silk. Who are you in this moment? Not a rushed worker, not a problem solver, not a mind forced to stay sharp. Tonight, you are simply a quiet traveler. Where are you in Eridu, low land near water, where reeds whisper and canals shine? And when is this? long before printed calendars and glowing clocks, in those ancient centuries that modern scholars would later call the Ubaid time, when villages learned to become cities and patience became a kind of architecture. The marsh breathes around you, reeds sway and settle. The ground, dark and damp, holds the day's last warmth in a gentle way. Above, the sky is wide and clear, and the stars feel less like distant fire and more like small, steady promises. You carry the clay tablet close to your chest as if it is not only an object, but a comforting weight, like a book you loved as a child, held to your heart on a quiet evening. The scribe walks beside you, unhurried. Their footsteps make almost no sound on the packed path. No one speaks. Words are not needed. In the spaces between reed, rustles and water murmurs, the silence already says enough. Ahead, the canal glints under moonlight. It is narrow, calm and steady, water guided by human hands, yet still water, still free to move at its own slow pace. The surface reflects the sky in soft fragments, broken and rejoined with every small ripple. If you like, let your breathing match the canal's rhythm. In, as the water gathers. Out, as the water releases. The path follows the canal, and soon the temple is behind you. Eridu spreads low across the land, courtyards, reed fences, small mud brick walls that do not rise high enough to hide the horizon. The city feels like a conversation between earth and water, and the people who live here seem to have learned how to speak gently to both. Somewhere to your left, a reed boat rests half in the water, half on the bank, like an animal that has come to drink and then fallen asleep. A person kneels beside it, their hands moving slowly, deliberately. They warm bitumen in a shallow dish, and the dark substance shines like wet obsidian. With a calm patience, they spread it along the seams, smoothing it again and again. Layer on layer, stroke on stroke. The smell rises, sharp, earthy, slightly sweet, and then softens into the night air. There is something deeply soothing about watching a careful task. It reminds the mind that time does not always have to be chased. Time can be worked with like clay. Time can be sealed like a boat's seams. Time can be guided like canal water. You notice that the worker's hands are steady even if the day has been long. In the quiet repetition, there is a kind of kindness toward the boat, toward the water, toward the future. And you realize in a first city, much of life is made of gentle repetitions, filling jars, cutting reeds, counting grain, smoothing bitumen, pressing marks into clay, not glamorous, but grounding. The scribe beside you glances toward the worker, then back to you as if to say, "This is what we keep, not noise, rhythm." You continue walking. The canal turns and the landscape opens into a broader stretch of water where reeds grow thicker. The moonlight lies across the surface like a pale road. Insects sing softly, a thin, steady chorus that does not demand attention, only offers it. You think briefly of the world you came from, of screens and notifications, of traffic sounds and schedules, of the way the mind sometimes refuses to stop counting, even when the body is exhausted. Then you look back at the canal and remember there are other ways to live inside time. Have you ever felt your day speeding up and wished you could gently slow it, like placing a hand on a swinging pendulum? Tonight, you don't have to wish, you are already doing it. The scribe leads you toward a low cluster of buildings near the water's edge. The structures are simple. Mud brick bases, reed roofs, doorways draped with woven mats. A small lamp glows inside one of them, the light warm and amber, like a quiet hearth in the middle of night. As you approach, the sound of scratching returns. Stylus on clay. It is faint but steady, like a heartbeat. Scratch. Pause. Scratch. You step inside. The room is small and safe. The air is warmer here, scented with dried herbs and smoke. Along the walls, clay tablets are stacked neatly, and in the center, a few figures sit in a half circle, their bodies relaxed, their movements calm. They are not soldiers, not priests in dramatic masks, not rulers, they are learners. And the one guiding them is older, hair tied back, hands marked with clay. Their voice is low and gentle, not lecturing, simply sharing. They lift a tablet, trace a line with a fingertip, then set it down as if placing something delicate. You don't understand the words, but you understand the feeling. This is a place where knowledge is passed like a warm cup of tea, held carefully, offered without force. The scribe who brought you here nods toward the circle, inviting you to sit. You settle onto a woven mat, and the fibers press softly against your legs. The tablet in your hands feels heavier now, as if it has absorbed the room's quiet. The older teacher looks at you just briefly and smiles, a small recognition that needs no explanation. Then they begin to speak again, and as they do, your mind starts to drift, not away, but deeper, the way you drift into a story that feels like it has always been part of you. In their calm voice, the world becomes water and earth. They speak of the marsh, of how reeds grow tall when water is guided gently. They speak of the fields beyond, where soil can be coaxed into giving grain if canals are tended. They speak of the sky, where the returning stars can tell you when to plant, when to harvest, when to rest. And as they speak, you realize something that feels like a soft discovery. History, at its beginning, is not a straight line. It is a cycle. Water rises, water falls. Seeds sleep, seeds wake, light returns. The teacher's finger taps the tablet once, softly, and the learners repeat a sound together like a lullaby. The repetition is quiet, soothing. You feel your own thoughts slow down as if the room is teaching your nervous system how to be steady. Outside, the canal continues its patient flow. Inside, human beings learn to flow with it. The teacher lifts another tablet, this one older, edges worn smooth. They hold it up so the lamplight catches the marks and the wedges gleam like tiny fish scales. They speak a name that you cannot translate, but you feel its shape, Abgalu. The room seems to grow a little warmer at the sound, like a candle being lit. In later retellings, Abgalu are described as wise beings from the water, sages, bringers of knowledge. Some stories imagine them as strange half-fish figures. But here, in this room, the teacher speaks of them as something gentler, as 7 lamps. 7 calm lights that helped people learn how to live with earth and water and sky. Not as conquerors, not as loud miracles, as teachers, as if wisdom itself rose from the canals the way mist rises at dawn, quietly, naturally, without needing to prove anything. The teacher names the first lesson patience with water. They describe how to read the canal's mood, when it is too high, when it is too low, when it needs clearing, when it needs rest. The learners listen with the soft focus of people who are not trying to impress anyone, only trying to understand. Then the teacher names another lesson, steadiness with numbers. Not complicated mathematics, just the calm art of counting so that no one is cheated, so that food lasts through winter, so that offerings are shared fairly. In this gentle school, even numbers feel like kindness. And the teacher continues, and you feel each lesson like a warm blanket, a lesson about watching the stars, not to fear them, but to trust their return, a lesson about writing marks in clay so memories do not disappear, a lesson about sealing boats so families can cross water safely, a lesson about listening to reeds, to wind, to the quiet needs of the day, 7 lamps. You imagine them glowing in the night, not blinding, just steady enough to help tired eyes find the path. And maybe you think that is what you are doing right now, finding a path through the dark of your own thoughts, with a story as your lamp. The teacher pauses for a moment. The room is filled only with the sound of the lamp's soft crackle and the distant water. Then the teacher gestures toward the object you carry, the tablet in your hands. The learners lean forward slightly, curious but calm. Their curiosity is not sharp. It is like a child looking into a tide pool, not grabbing, only observing. The teacher speaks softly, and the scribe beside you translates the feeling into something your heart can understand. This tablet is a reminder that order can be held, that balance can be protected, that the world's quiet rules, like water's patience, like stars' return, are worth remembering. Some would call it the tablet of destiny. But destiny, tonight, does not mean something heavy or frightening. It does not mean your life is fixed. It means something simpler, that there are rhythms bigger than your worries, that you can rest inside them, that the night has a structure like a lullaby, and you are allowed to follow it. The teacher reaches out, not taking the tablet away, only touching its edge with 2 fingers, a gesture so gentle it feels like a blessing. And in that touch you notice the shimmer again. Not bright, not alarming, just a faint, silvery response, as if the tablet recognizes the lamplight and the moonlight and the starlight as part of the same family. The teacher speaks one more sentence, slow and quiet. Then they point toward the doorway. Outside, the canal's sound has changed again, still soft but deeper, as if more water is moving through. You hear it like a distant breath. A longer inhale, a slower exhale. The scribe stands and gestures for you to follow. The learners bow their heads, not in fear, but in respect, and the teacher's eyes meet yours with calm reassurance, as if to say, you are safe to go, you are safe to wonder. You step back into the night. The air is cooler now, and the moon has moved slightly across the sky. The canal, however, remains steady, carrying its quiet message onward. You walk alongside it again, and after a few minutes, you notice something ahead. Something that makes your curiosity glow in a soft, steady way. On the water's surface, near a bend where reeds cluster thickly, there are small points of light, not reflections, not fireflies, lights that seem to rise from the water itself, one by one, as if 7 tiny lanterns are being lit beneath the surface. You slow your steps. The scribe slows with you, and the canal, faithful and calm, carries you closer to the place where the water is about to tell its next gentle secret. You stop at the bend where the canal quiets into a wider pool, sheltered by tall reeds that lean together like the walls of a private room. The night is still. Not empty, just still in the way a sleeping house is still, full of life that has chosen to rest. And there, on the water's surface, the points of light continue to appear. One, then another, then another. They rise slowly, as if lifted by a gentle current from the deep. They do not flicker with urgency, they do not dance wildly, they simply glow, soft, steady, patient, like tiny lanterns that have been waiting to be noticed. You watch them without trying to name them, because naming can be a kind of waking. And tonight, you want to stay close to the border where wonder feels warm, not sharp. The scribe stands beside you with their hands folded loosely, face turned toward the water. In the moonlight, their expression looks peaceful, almost tender. as if these lights are familiar, like an old song returning at the right moment. The canal makes a quiet sound at the bend, a slow, watery sigh. If you like, let your own breath answer it. In. A little longer than usual. Out. As if you're letting go of something you don't need to carry into sleep. The lights drift closer to the bank, gathering in a loose curve. For a moment, they resemble the pattern you saw on the tablet. The calm suggestion of a constellation, arranged not by force, but by gentle tendency. You crouch, knees soft, and bring your eyes closer to the surface. The glow seems to come from just beneath the water, not from above it. And then, as your gaze settles, you notice what the glow reveals. Shapes, moving slowly in the reed's shadow. Not threatening shapes, not sudden. Smooth silhouettes, as if carved from the water itself. Slender forms gliding with the current, appearing and disappearing behind blades of reed. You feel a tiny pulse of curiosity, but it stays gentle, like a candle flame protected by glass. The scribe speaks at last, a low murmur that barely disturbs the night. Abgalu, they say, softly, like a name meant to soothe rather than startle. 7 lamps, 7 calm lights. In some tellings, the Abgalu are sages who came from the water to teach the first people of the first city. Later artists imagined them as half fish, half human, symbols of waterborne wisdom, knowledge that rises from the deep. But here, at the canal's bend, the story feels simpler. The lights glide nearer, and you realize they may not be beings at all. They might be a natural glow, tiny organisms stirring in the water, responding to movement, to moonlight, to the slow turning of the current. They might be reflections of stars broken into small pieces by ripples. They might be something the mind invents when it is quiet enough to see meaning in softness. And none of that needs to be decided, because in sleep stories the truth can be held the way you hold a warm cup, not to analyze it, but to feel it. The lights gather and the scribe gestures toward the tablet you're holding. You bring it closer, and the faint shimmer on its surface answers the canal's glow, like 2 gentle languages recognizing each other. For a moment, it seems as if the tablet is not a thing you carry, but a thing that carries you into a deeper calm, carries you into the slow understanding that the world has always had patterns and human beings have always sought to live inside them. The scribe kneels near you, careful not to crush the reeds. They speak again, as if telling you something the water has told them many nights before. In Eridu, they whisper, we learned the world by listening. And as the words settle, you begin to hear what they mean. You hear the canal's steady rhythm. You hear the reeds brushing together like soft pages. You hear the distant city, small sounds of life, a doormat shifting, a lamp being turned lower, a quiet cough, then silence again, listening, not to solve anything, just to be with what is. Have you ever noticed how the mind softens when you stop trying to control the moment and simply let it be? You hold the tablet and let yourself listen. The canal, the reeds, the sky. And then another sound joins the night. A very faint tapping. Not random. Measured. As if something is being counted. Tap. Pause. Tap. Tap. Pause. The scribe turns their head, eyes narrowing slightly, not in alarm but in attention. They stand, and you follow their gaze along the bank where the path curves back toward the city. There, under a small awning of reeds, someone sits with a board across their knees. In the dim light of a covered lamp, they move small stones or tokens from one shallow dish to another. Each movement makes the soft tapping you heard. It is counting, not loud, not hurried, counting as a nightly ritual, counting as reassurance. In that moment, you understand something that feels like a soft discovery, not a twist meant to wake you, but a quiet opening in the heart. The first city was built from two kinds of calm: water's calm and human calm. Water offered its steady cycles, rise and fall, flow and pause. Human beings offered their steady habits, count and record, tend and wait. Together they made a place where tomorrow could be trusted. The counter looks up and nods at you and the scribe, then returns to their stones, their hands moving with the gentle focus of someone folding laundry at the end of a long day. The scribe leads you onward. You walk along the canal until the reeds thin and the land becomes firmer beneath your feet. The city's low shapes appear again: mud brick, reed roofs, courtyards that hold pockets of warmth. But the lights on the water do not fade. They follow at a distance, like companions who do not crowd you. 7 lanterns, a soft escort, a quiet promise. The scribe takes you through a narrow passage and into a courtyard where a small fire burns low in a clay brazier. Around it, a few people sit, wrapped in simple cloth, faces relaxed, bodies resting. No one looks startled by your arrival. In this dreamlike Eridu, you belong simply because you are here. A woman pours water from a jar into small cups. The sound is soothing, the thin stream, the gentle splash, the pause. She offers a cup to you. It is cool and fresh. As you drink, you taste something faint and mineral, like water that has traveled through deep earth before finding daylight. You swallow slowly, and you feel your chest loosen. The scribe sits across from you and rests their hands on their knees. The firelight paints their face in warm oranges and soft shadows. They look like someone who has learned to live without rushing. For a while, no one speaks. The fire crackles softly. The canal murmurs nearby. The night sky hangs overhead like a vast, calm ceiling. And then, from somewhere beyond the courtyard wall, a sound rises, low, melodic, almost like a chant, but quieter than you expect. It is not a performance. It is a comfort, a lullaby for adults. A murmured line repeated slowly, with pauses long enough for the mind to drift. The people around the fire listen. Some close their eyes. Someone's shoulders drop as if they've been waiting all day to release a hidden weight. You realize gently that the bedtime rituals are not new. People have always needed a way to come down from the day. They have always needed a soft landing. The scribe leans forward slightly and speaks to you in a voice that feels like warm cloth. Long ago, they say, we told ourselves the world was held by quiet rules. They gesture toward the canal's direction, toward the unseen water in the dark. The Abzu beneath us, the water that nourishes, the stars above us, the lights that return. Between them, we are small, but not lost. They pause, as if giving you time to feel the meaning rather than chase it. Then they add, even more softly, some called the ones who keep order watchers. Watchers. You let the word settle without fear. In this story, a watcher is not a threat. A watcher is a symbol of steadiness, of being seen in a kind way, of the universe paying quiet attention. If you've ever felt alone at night, wide awake while the world sleeps, imagine a watcher as something gentle, not a person, not an eye that judges, but a calm presence like the moonlight itself, touching the tops of trees, the surfaces of water, the quiet corners of your room. Touching you too without demanding anything. Here, no one rests alone. The scribe reaches toward the tablet in your hands. They do not take it. They simply trace the edge with one finger, slow and careful. And in the firelight, you notice faint impressions on the tablet's surface you hadn't seen before. Not large marks, small ones, tiny wedges near the border, repeated in a pattern that feels almost like a heartbeat. The scribe's voice becomes a whisper. Not a secret, they say. A reminder. They nod toward the canal again. Water teaches patience. They nod toward the courtyard, the cups, the fire. People teach care. Then, almost like a soft blessing, they say, if you learn those two things, you can live through floods, and through long, tired seasons, and through nights when the mind feels too loud. Floods. The word is heavy in other stories, but here, it arrives like distant thunder you know will pass without touching you, a concept, not a threat, a memory of nature's power held at a safe distance. The people around the fire do not tense. They simply listen as if they've always understood that water can rise and fall, and all you can do is build gently, seal carefully, remember what matters. You glance toward the courtyard's entrance. Beyond the wall, the canal's surface is barely visible, but the 7 lights are still there, small points drifting like patient thoughts becoming calmer. The scribe follows your gaze and smiles faintly. Even if the water rises, they whisper, the lights return. And something in you relaxes at that, because maybe you do not need certainty to sleep. Maybe you only need a rhythm, a promise that the lights return. The scribe stands and offers you a hand. You take it. The hand is warm, human, steady. They lead you out of the courtyard and back toward the canal path. The night has deepened, the stars have shifted slightly. The moon is higher now and its light is thinner, more silver. As you walk, the scribe speaks one more time, as if preparing you for a gentle turn in the story. Tonight, they say, the water will show you something. Not a loud revelation. Not a shocking secret. Just something beautiful enough to widen the heart. You follow the path, and soon you reach a place where the canal opens into a broader, darker stretch, water that looks almost like polished stone under the sky. The 7 lights drift across it, slow and steady. Then one by one, they begin to move into a line, almost straight, almost intentional. A path. A quiet road across the water. And you realize the lights are guiding you toward the marsh's deepest, calmest place, toward the Abzuin's story, toward the feeling of deep water beneath everything. Your body remains safe on land, but your imagination steps onto that luminous path as easily as stepping into a dream. And somewhere ahead, in the darkest part of the canal, something waits. Not an enemy, not a danger, but a soft expansion, a sight that will make time feel wide and gentle, the way the night sky does when you finally stop fighting it. The luminous path across the canal does not feel like something you must walk on. It feels like something you simply follow with your eyes, and with the quiet part of your mind that already knows how to drift. The 7 lights glide in a gentle line, unbroken, unhurried, like a string of pearls moving through dark velvet. Each light seems to float just above the water's surface, close enough to be reflected, far enough to remain itself. You stand on the bank, feet grounded in the damp earth, safe and steady. And yet, inside you, something moves. Your imagination steps forward, not with urgency, with permission. The scribe stays beside you, calm as ever, their silhouette outlined by moonlight. They do not point dramatically. They do not command. They simply remain present, as if their presence is a quiet assurance. Nothing here will harm you. The canal widens, becoming darker, deeper looking, like a still lake made from night itself. The reeds grow taller and denser on both sides, and their shadows form soft corridors. The air is cooler here. The scent of water is stronger, fresh, mineral, alive. And the sound becomes deeper too, not louder. Just deeper, as if the canal is speaking in a lower register, like a lullaby sung from the chest instead of the throat. If you like, take a breath in, slow and steady. And as you exhale, imagine the breath sinking through your ribs, through your belly, settling into the earth the way water settles into the lowest place. The 7 lights drift farther out. The water's surface barely moves. Each reflection sits beneath its light like a twin. 2 lanterns for everyone, as if the world is doubling its comfort. In the distance, the faint outline of the city is still there. Eridu's low shapes, small lamps, a soft human presence. But here, in this deeper stretch, it feels as if you've entered the city's quiet heart. The scribe speaks softly, so softly you have to lean your attention closer to catch the words. Abzu, they whisper. And even if you don't know the word, you feel it. A deep reservoir beneath the world, a hidden water that nourishes everything without asking to be thanked. In story, the Abzu is not a threat. It is a foundation, like the way you don't always notice your breath until you need comfort, and then you realize it has been faithful all along. The 7 lights reach the center of the dark water and pause. For a long moment, they simply hover there, like calm thoughts held in the palm. Then one light sinks. Not suddenly, not as if swallowed. It sinks the way a leaf sinks when it finally releases its air. Slowly, gently, until it becomes part of the water. The 2nd light sinks, then the 3rd. Each one disappears beneath the surface, leaving behind a widening ring of soft ripples. And as the lights go down, the water begins to glow from within. Not bright, not startling. A faint, underwater illumination that spreads like dawn beneath the surface. Pale, silvery, calm. You watch, and your mind quiets even more, as if the glow is washing through you. A memory rises in you, perhaps your own memory, perhaps a shared human memory. The feeling of standing near the ocean at night, when the waves are gentle, and the world seems infinite, and you realize your worries are small enough to be held. Have you ever stood beside water and felt your thoughts loosen, as if the water were carrying them away for you? If so, you already understand what Eridu understood. Water is not only a thing to control, water is a teacher. The scribe's hand hovers near your shoulder, not touching, just near, like warmth you can lean into if you choose. Then, from the glowing water, something appears. Not a creature leaping, not a monster. A shape, broad and slow, rising just beneath the surface. It moves like a shadow made gentle, like a large fish turning in deep water, or like a smooth stone being lifted by an unseen hand. The glow outlines it faintly, and when it reaches the surface, it does not break the water with a splash. It simply emerges the way the moon emerges from a cloud, quietly, as if it has always been there. A slab, flat, dark, shining slightly with moisture. It floats for a moment at the center of the canal, ringed by soft ripples. Your breath catches just a little, then returns to calm, because the feeling is not fear, it is reverence. The scribe kneels beside you and whispers, "The reminder." The slab looks like clay, but darker, sealed perhaps with bitumen, the same substance you smelled at the boats. Its surface gleams as if it has been protected from water for a very long time. And then you see it. Mark. Not random scratches. Careful wedges, not many, not crowded. Just enough to be meaningful. The marks catch the glow beneath the water and shimmer, faint as starlight. You don't read them with your mind, you read them with your body. with the soft part of you that understands symbols without argument. The scribe speaks, slow and steady, as if telling a bedtime story to the oldest part of your heart. Some people believed there was a tablet, not to control others, but to keep the world in balance. They pause. The reeds sway. Somewhere far behind, a nightbird calls once, then stops. Not a weapon, the scribe continues. Not a proof, a promise, a promise. You hold your own tablet closer to your chest, and you notice it again, how its edges feel rounded, familiar, comforting. The scribe looks toward your hands, then toward the floating slab in the water, as if showing you a quiet connection, a small tablet in a human hand, and a larger tablet resting on the water's calm. And in that connection you feel the story's gentle turning point, a soft pivot, not a jolt. Maybe the destiny people searched for was never a loud secret. Maybe it was the quiet discipline of living well, knowing when to clear a canal, knowing when to seal a boat, knowing when to plant, knowing when to rest. The floating slab drifts closer, carried by the slow current. The glow beneath the surface dims slightly, as if the water is satisfied, as if it has shown you what it wanted to show. When the slab reaches the near bank, it nudges softly against a cluster of reeds and stops. The scribe stands, steps carefully to the edge, and reaches down. Their hands move with respect, lifting the slab as if lifting a sleeping child. Slowly, steadily, careful not to let it slip. They place it on the damp earth near you. It looks heavier up close. It smells faintly of mineral water and sealed clay. The surface is smooth in places, rough in others. The wedges are shallow but deliberate, like footprints pressed into a path. The scribe does not interpret with certainty. They do not say, "This means exactly this." Instead, they speak the way gentle storytellers speak. People long ago felt the world could be held together by quiet rules, they say. And sometimes when life felt uncertain, they would return to these rules. The way you return to a song that makes you feel safe. You look at the slab, and you feel something in you respond, the way the body responds to warmth. A loosening in the chest, a softening in the forehead, a slowing behind the eyes. The scribe continues, voice like low waves. They believed there were watchers, quiet guardians, not to punish, but to witness, to keep the sky's order, and the water's cycles, and the seasons return. Watchers. Again the word lands gently. You imagine them not as figures with sharp edges, but as a feeling. The way moonlight rests on the tops of reeds. The way stars remain steady while your thoughts come and go. The way deep water holds the world without needing applause. If you've had nights where you felt alone, imagine this. Somewhere, something is simply witnessing you with kindness, not demanding anything, not judging you, just holding the space with you until you can sleep. Here, no one rests alone. The scribe looks toward the canal again, and their voice lowers even more. There were times, they whisper, when water rose beyond what people expected. A flood. A memory that belongs to many cultures, many riverlands. But the scribe speaks of it the way you might speak of a storm you survived long ago, softly, with gratitude for calm returning. Water can rise, the scribe says, and water can recede, and human beings do what they have always done. They prepare gently. And suddenly, the scene shifts, like a slow dissolve in a film. You are still beside the canal, but you also see another image layered over it. People in Eridu working quietly by lamplight, sealing reed boats with bitumen. Hands moving slowly, smoothing the black resin along seams. Not panicked, focused, patient. A mother tying a bundle of cloth, a father checking a rope, A child watching the black shine of bitumen, fascinated, calm. You smell it again, the sharp, earthy scent. You hear the sound of hands pressing and smoothing again and again, and you understand preparation can be soothing, routine can be safety. Even when the world is uncertain, the body can find peace in simple, steady actions. The vision fades back into the present moment beside the canal. The scribe touches the edge of the slab once, just once, then lets their hand fall away. "Do you see?" they ask softly, not expecting an answer. This is the soft discovery at the heart of tonight's story. What was kept through time wasn't only a mysterious object. It was a way of living, a way of moving slowly through the day, a way of noticing water and sky, a way of recording and remembering, a way of sharing warmth around a small fire, a way of believing you are part of something larger and steadier than your worries, and in that realization your own life feels closer to theirs because you too know what it means to manage time. You know what it means to count minutes, dollars, tasks, responsibilities. You know what it means to feel the pressure of tomorrow. And you know what it means to long for a quiet foundation. The scribe sits on the bank, legs folded, gaze resting on the water. They speak again, but now it sounds like reflection rather than story. Time isn't always fast, they say. Sometimes it is wide. Wide time. You feel the phrase sink into you. Wide like a night sky. Wide like a still canal. Wide like the space between your breath in and your breath out. Have you ever noticed that some moments are small but vast, like the moment you finally lie down after a long day and the pillow holds your head as if it has been waiting for you? This is one of those moments. The scribe gestures toward the slab and then toward your tablet. You don't have to carry the whole world, they say. Then they glance upward. The stars are steady. The moon is thin, the reeds sway, and the canal keeps moving, patient as ever. You only have to rest inside it, the scribe whispers. And as those words settle, the glow beneath the water fades completely, leaving only moonlight and stars reflected on the surface. The 7 lights do not return to the surface, but you do not feel their absence. Because now you understand they were never meant to be held like proof. They were meant to be felt like comfort. The scribe stands again, and with slow care, they lift the dark slab and wrap it in a piece of cloth, simple, woven, warm-colored, like something used every day. They do not hand it to you. Instead, they turn and walk along the path toward the city, carrying it as if returning it to where it belongs. You follow, still holding your tablet close. The path feels softer now, as if the earth has become more forgiving beneath your feet. And as you walk, you notice the way Eridu's lamps glow in the distance, small, warm points like human stars. A city of quiet lights, a city built on water and patience, a city that understands the best kind of order is gentle. You move closer to the city, and the scribe speaks one more sentence, like a calm cliffhanger meant to pull you forward without waking you. Tomorrow, they whisper, you will climb the staircase of time and see how the city remembers. You feel your curiosity rise, softly. A staircase of time, 17 layers, a gentle descent into memory, and then a gentle return to the surface. You keep walking, the canal murmurs, your breathing stays slow, and the night holds you quietly, as if it has all the time in the world. By the time you reach the edge of Eridu again, the night has deepened into its softest color. The city's lamps are fewer now, most doorways are covered, most voices have gone quiet. The canal keeps moving, as faithful as breath. And your own breathing, without you forcing it, has found a slower pace, the kind that tells the body it is safe to sleep. The scribe walks with you along a low ridge of packed earth. To your right, water threads through reeds. To your left, the city rests in small, warm pockets, courtyards with embers, rooftops with sleeping shapes, walls that hold the day's last heat like a secret. Then, without any sudden change, the scene begins to soften. Not like a switch, like fog, like the way one memory gently slides into another when you are half asleep. The scribe's outline becomes less sharp. The reeds blur at the edges. Moonlight stretches into a pale ribbon across the ground, and you feel yourself being guided somewhere deeper. Not deeper into danger, but deeper into time. You remember what the scribe whispered, tomorrow. You will climb the staircase of time and see how the city remembers. So, you let your imagination do what it already knows how to do. You let it drift, and in that drifting, you are back in the museum's archive room. The warm lamp pools light on a pale table. The clay fragment lies there, quiet and ordinary, as if it has been waiting. The air smells of paper, stone, and clean dust. Somewhere far away, a hallway light hums softly. Beside the table stands another caretaker of time, modern now, a curator perhaps, or an archaeologist. They wear a simple jacket. Their expression is calm. In their palm, a small flashlight rests like a gentle lantern. They smile as if you belong here, the way you belong anywhere quiet. Come, they whisper, as if speaking too loudly would wake the clay. You follow them through empty halls where display cases stand like sleeping windows. Your footsteps are soft. The museum feels like a place holding its breath. At a plain door, staff only, the curator pauses, turns the key, and opens it with a tender click. Beyond it, the air changes, cooler, earthier. Not fresh garden earth, but earth that has been resting a long time, the way soil smells when you open an old box and find a forgotten book inside. You step in, and the room becomes wider than a room should be, because this is a sleep story, and the night is allowed to bend. The ceiling lifts, the walls recede, the floor becomes uneven sand, and you find yourself standing at the edge of an excavation trench under a calm, star-hushed sky. A careful cut into the ground reveals bands of soil stacked neatly, tan, grey, reddish-brown, layer upon layer, like pages in a thick book. The curator kneels and brushes the air above the bands as if smoothing a blanket. Eridu, they whisper. Remembered in layers? They point to the topmost band. This is the last breath, they say, closest to the sun. Then their finger drifts downward slowly. And here, and here, and here. Downward is not falling. Downward is returning. You recall the number you heard earlier, 17. Not a number to hold tightly, but a feeling. Many rebuildings, many quiet beginnings. A city tucking itself in again and again. The curator offers you the flashlight. It is small and light in your palm, smooth plastic, modern. Yet it carries the same comfort as an oil lamp, a human-made light meant to keep the dark gentle. You aim the beam along the trench wall. It slides across the soil bands like moonlight over dunes. The curator gestures to the steps cut into the side. They're wide, they whisper. Take your time. You place one foot down, then the other. The earth holds you. The air is still. The only sounds are your breath and the faint scrape of sand beneath you. Step by step, you descend. And with each step, the world above becomes quieter. Emails, traffic, clocks, until those things feel far away, like a radio in another house. Here, time feels wide. At the first level, the curator pauses and uses a soft brush. Their movement is slow, almost meditative. A fragment appears, not gold, not a crown. A piece of pottery, curved, simple, worn smooth. It is the rim of a bowl once held water or grain or soup. The curator places it in your hand and you feel the rounded edge where someone's fingers once rested. You don't need a name to sense a life. A courtyard at dusk, a tired person pouring, a child asking for more, a neighbor laughing softly. A bowl is enough to make the past human. You hand it back carefully and you take another step. At the next band, the curator finds a small bead, clay or stone, no larger than a fingernail. They roll it between their fingers, then let it catch the flashlight beam. Beauty, they whisper, even here. You think of the small comforts you reach for when the day is heavy. A warm mug, a favorite song, a soft blanket, a friendly message. Beauty is not extra. Beauty is how the nervous system remembers it can soften. You descend again. The curator points to a dark line, thin, charcoal-like, embedded in the soil. A hearth, they say. Not a dramatic discovery, just a quiet one. You imagine hands held out to warmth, the low murmur of voices, the end-of-day sigh. Something in your shoulders drops, as if your body recognizes firelight across thousands of years. You descend again. This layer holds a reed impression in dried clay, parallel lines like the memory of a woven mat. A floor, the curator whispers. A home. You picture someone lying down on that mat, listening to water outside, waiting for sleep to arrive. You picture the same quiet hope you may feel tonight, that rest will come gently, without struggle. You descend once more. Here, the curator brushes away dust from a small clay corner and reveals a single wedge-shaped mark, one deliberate sign. Writing? Just a fragment, but unmistakable. The curator's voice turns even softer. This, they whisper, is how people held time. Not with loud speeches, not with arguments, with a small mark pressed into clay so memory could outlast a single breath. You watch the wedge catch the light. It shimmers briefly, then settles back into stillness. And you feel a soft discovery opening in you, quiet, steady. The city's mystery isn't hidden in grand secrets. It's hidden in the patient habits that kept life going, counting, recording, rebuilding, sharing warmth, listening to water. Have you ever noticed that when you repeat something gentle every day, tea, a walk, a slow song, your mind starts to believe it can be okay? The curator nods as if they can hear your thoughts without needing words. They point to the trench wall where one band meets another, old mud brick, then newer mud brick, laid carefully above it. Rebuilding, they say. Again and again. No panic in their voice. Only respect. You imagine a wall softened by rain, a canal rising higher than expected, a roof needing repair. And then you imagine the next morning, people gathering clay, mixing it with straw, pressing bricks in the sun, beginning again. Quiet courage. Before you climb down any farther, the curator invites you to pause. Just for a moment, they whisper. They place their hand palm down over the trench wall, not touching the fragile edges, only hovering as if offering warmth from a distance. Imagine each layer as a blanket, they say. A soft cover laid down season by season. You look again at the bands, pale sand, darker silt, a faint reddish tone like sun-baked clay. In the beam of the flashlight, the colors feel tender, not technical, like shades in an old photograph. 17 layers, you remember, not a list to recite. a slow lullaby of rebuilding. If you like, close your eyes for one breath. Picture the city as a sleeping child, being tucked in again and again, each layer a gentle hand smoothing the covers, whispering, "You're safe, you can rest." When you open your eyes, the curator is brushing at another small patch of soil. A darker smear appears, glossy even after centuries. Bitumen, the same sealing substance you smelled by the canal, sharp and earthy. Waterproofing, the curator murmurs. Boats, baskets, walls. They don't lift it or scrape it hard. They simply show it to you, then leave it where it belongs. The smear feels like a message from ordinary hands. Someone once took time to make something safer, to keep water out, to keep the inside calm. You breathe in slowly, and in your mind the canal returns, its steady hush, its patient flow. The curator points to tiny shells embedded in a lower band, little pale curves trapped in soil like quiet moons. Water was always near, they whisper, even when the city rose. And you understand again, softly, deeply, why water belongs in this story. In Eridu, water was not only outside, it was beneath too, the Abzu in symbol, the deep, fresh water in feeling, the foundation that nourished without being seen. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? That beneath the noise of a day, there can be something steady. Beneath your thinking, your breath keeps returning. Beneath your worries, your body still knows how to soften. If a memory of your own life rises right now, something small and warm like steam from a cup, or the sound of rain on a window, let it come. Let it be a lantern just for you. The curator's voice remains low and human. Every layer, they say, is not only a city, it is someone's evening. Someone washing their hands. Someone counting grain. Someone putting a child to sleep. Someone listening to water and deciding quietly that tomorrow is worth preparing for. In the distance, above the trench, the stars remain steady. You don't have to decide what a watcher is. Tonight, a watcher can simply be this steadiness, the sky holding its pattern while human lives come and go, while cities rise and settle into layers. Here, no one rests alone. The curator lifts the flashlight and sweeps it lower, toward deeper bands. "We can go farther," they whisper. And as you look down, you notice something that is not from the flashlight at all. A tiny glimmer on the trench wall, silvery, faint, like a wedge catching starlight. The curator sees it too. Their face softens with calm excitement, the way you might smile when you find a familiar object in a dark drawer. "Ah," they breathe, almost fondly. They raise the brush, moving toward that glimmer with the slow care of someone approaching a sleeping animal, careful not to wake it, careful not to rush the moment. The story leans forward, not to jolt you awake, to guide you one soft step at a time toward the next quiet piece of remembered light. The curator's brush moves like a slow tide, not scraping, only coaxing. Dust lifts into the air in tiny, soft clouds and settles again as if it has always preferred silence. The flashlight beam stays steady in your hand, warm white and gentle, like a modern version of an oil lamp, still human, still comforting. And there, where the trench wall had been only layered earth, a small surface begins to appear. Clay, smooth in places, rough in others. A corner first, then an edge, then a faint line of pressed wedges, writing. The glimmer you noticed wasn't a trick of the light. It was a mark made by a hand that lived so long ago, the distance feels almost impossible. And yet in this quiet moment, it feels as close as your own heartbeat. The curator pauses. They don't rush. They don't announce anything loudly. They simply breathe in, slowly, and their shoulders soften as if they too feel the tenderness of time being uncovered. Who is here? You, the quiet traveler, the curator, a caretaker of memory. And somewhere behind the clay, the presence of the one who pressed those wedges, anonymous but not lost. Where are you? In an excavation that has become a dream space, halfway between museum and ancient marsh, between present and first city. When is this? It is now, and it is also then. Time has folded gently, like a blanket pulled up over the shoulders. Why does this matter? Not because it proves something, not because it wins an argument, but because it reminds you. Human beings have always tried to hold the world steady with small acts of care. What is being revealed? A tablet fragment pressed with lines of quiet order. How will you meet it? With gentleness, with breath, with an open, resting mind. The curator's brush completes the clearing around the tablet fragment. It remains embedded in its layer, still held by the earth, like a thought, still held by sleep. The wedges are arranged in narrow lines. They look like reeds in a canal, small marks that repeat, bend, pause, then continue. The curator leans closer and reads without drama, the way you might read a familiar poem to yourself in the dark. Their lips form silent shapes at first, then they whisper. Only enough for you to catch the feeling. A list, they say softly. A remembering. A list. In the modern world, lists can feel like pressure. Things to do, things not to forget, things waiting. But here, in this deep layer of Eridu's memory, a list feels different. It feels like reassurance. It feels like someone saying, "We were here and we remember each other." The curator points to the pattern of the lines. These, they whisper, are names. Names. You feel something soften in your chest, because a name is the simplest proof of humanity. A name is what someone answers to. A name is what someone called out when dusk arrived, and it was time to come home. The curator continues, voice barely above breath. And these are lengths of time. They don't say numbers. They don't pile detail onto your mind. They simply let the idea hover like a lantern in fog, lengths of time. In the traditions that grew in the land between rivers, there were stories of kings who ruled for impossibly long spans, lives stretched wide like the marshland itself, rains flowing like canals that never ran dry. To a waking, analytical mind, such stories can become arguments. But tonight, we don't come to argue. We come to rest inside the feeling beneath the myth. And the feeling is this. When people lived close to water and sky, time could feel different. Not measured by alarms, but by seasons. Not counted in minutes, but in harvests, floods and returns. The curator's voice stays soft. Some called it the time before the flood. They whisper, and the words land like distant thunder that never reaches you, only a sound far away, reminding you the world can be powerful, and still you can be safe in this moment. Before the flood, before the water rose beyond its usual banks, before the city had to tuck itself into another layer, the curator glances at you as if checking whether your mind remains calm. It does, because the story holds the flood at a gentle distance, like a storm seen from a warm room. Then the curator smiles faintly and adds something that feels like a blessing. People told those long rains not to frighten themselves, but to imagine steadiness. Steadiness. The word settles into you. Imagine a ruler not as a conqueror, but as a symbol of continuity, like a lighthouse beam, like the moon's return, like a canal that keeps moving whether you watch it or not. Imagine being held inside a world where time is wide enough to breathe, Have you ever noticed that when you're truly calm, maybe on vacation, or late at night, or during a quiet walk, time seems to stretch and your thoughts lose their sharp edges? That is the feeling these old lists may have tried to hold. Not accuracy, comfort, a world that lasts, a world that can be rebuilt. The curator carefully slides a thin sheet of protective film over the tablet fragment, an act of modern care, then gestures for you to step back up the trench steps. You climb slowly, 1 foot at a time, and the air feels lighter as you rise. Not because the past becomes less real, because your body is returning to a gentler surface. At the top, the excavation dissolves again into museum corridors. The flashlight becomes the warm archive lamp. The curator places a small box on the pale table, lined with soft material. Inside, other fragments rest like sleeping birds, each one light, each one carrying a small piece of time. The curator sets the newly revealed fragment into the box with slow precision. Then they open another drawer. And this drawer feels different. Not dramatic, just deeper. As the drawer slides out, the scent changes. Less paper, more earth, less dust, more clay. The air seems to cool slightly, like the museum is remembering the marsh. Inside lies a tablet larger than the others, not huge, but substantial. Its surface is worn smooth at the edges, as if many hands once held it. The wedges are clearer here, pressed with a confidence that suggests practice. Whoever wrote this knew what they were doing, knew how to make meaning last. The curator does not lift it quickly. They cradle it, palms beneath, fingers supporting, like carrying something fragile and beloved. Then they set it on the table between you. The archive lamp glows warmly above it. The wedges catch the light. And for a moment the marks look like stars again, tiny, ordered, steady. The curator speaks in a whisper, but you can hear the affection in it. This is the kind of tablet that makes people think of destiny, they say. But I don't think destiny is the point. They glance at you, gentle, reassuring. I think the point is balance. Balance. Yes, that is what tonight has been building toward: water's balance, sky's balance, human balance, and the way the mind, too, longs for balance, especially at night, when it has carried too much all day. The curator traces, not with a finger on the tablet, but with a finger in the air above it, respectful. These lines, they whisper, speak of beginnings. Beginnings, your breathing slows as if your body knows this is where the story becomes even softer, not louder, softer. Beginnings in ancient texts can sometimes be intense, but tonight we will hold the beginning like a lullaby. The curator's voice becomes slow, rhythmic, like someone reading to you while the room is dark and safe. People said, "We are made from earth," they whisper. Earth. Clay. The simplest substance, soft enough to shape, strong enough to last. And then they add, even more gently, and something like breath. Breath. Not lightning, not violence, not fear. Breath, the quiet thing you always have, the thing that has been holding you alive without needing thanks. You look at the tablet and let the words settle. Clay and breath, a soft metaphor, not a debate. A way of saying we belong to the world, and the world belongs in us. We are made of what we touch: earth, water, air, warmth. And we carry a small inner light that can notice and wonder and rest. If you like, take a slow breath in now. And as you exhale, imagine you are letting go of the day's heaviness the way a hand lets go of clay after shaping it. No struggle, just release. The curator continues, voice quiet as falling dust. In some stories, they say, the deep water under the world was a sacred place, not because it was frightening, but because it was faithful. Faithful water, faithful breath, faithful night. You feel your shoulders relax again, and the tablet's wedges in their neat lines seem less like information and more like a texture, a calming pattern, the way rain is a pattern, the way waves are a pattern, the way a fan's hum becomes a lullaby when you're tired. The curator pauses and slides the tablet a little closer to you, not asking you to interpret, only inviting you to be near it. To the people who pressed these marks, they whisper, writing was like tying a thread. A thread, yes, a thread from their hands to yours, from their canal to your breath, from their night sky to the ceiling above you now, whether it is a bedroom ceiling or a living room ceiling or the inside of a car where you've pulled over to rest for a moment. Wherever you are listening from tonight, you are here with us. Here, no one rests alone. Every story from the past is a soft lantern in the dark, gently lighting our way tonight. The curator's expression turns thoughtful. Sometimes, they say, people hear about watchers and they tense up. They imagine something sharp. They shake their head gently. But what if watchers were never meant to be sharp? They look up toward the archive lamp, the way someone looks up at the moon. What if it was a way of saying, the world is held, like a child held at bedtime, like a cup held in both hands, like your mind held gently by this story until it can finally sleep. The curator closes the drawer slowly, leaving the larger tablet on the table for a moment longer. The lamp's warmth pools over it like sunset over mud brick. Then the curator speaks again, very softly, as if giving you one more small hook, a calm seed of curiosity to carry into the next stretch of the journey. There's one more place I want to show you, they whisper. They gesture toward a shelf where a narrow case rests, darker than the others. It's not famous, they say. It's not loud. They pause, letting the silence breathe. But it holds a pattern that repeats, like water. A repeating pattern, your curiosity glows quietly. The curator lifts the narrow case and sets it on the table. They open it with care. Inside is a long, thin piece of clay like a strip, covered in repeated wedges, rhythmic and even, not a list, not a name, a repetition. The curator smiles faintly, almost like someone about to hum a familiar tune. This, they whisper, sounds like a lullaby if you know how to listen. And as they begin to trace the repeating marks with their eyes, the archive room seems to dim around the tablet. The museum's silence deepens. The air grows cooler, more like marsh air. Somewhere far away you can almost hear reeds brushing together again, as if the canal is returning, as if the Abzu beneath the world is drawing a slow breath. And you, safe and warm, are about to hear the past not as facts, but as rhythm. The long, thin clay strip rests in its case like a sleeping creature, still, quiet, and strangely alive. The repeated wedges run along it in neat bands, so consistent that your eyes begin to follow them the way they follow raindrops down a window. There is something hypnotic about repetition when the mind is tired. Something that says, without words, you don't have to chase anything. You can simply be here. The curator's finger hovers above the marks, not touching, just tracing the air the way you might trace constellations on a clear night. They whisper, listen, and you do. At first, you think they mean listen with your ears, but soon you understand they mean something subtler. Listen with the part of you that feels patterns. the part that calms down when it hears a fan hum, or ocean waves, or a steady train rolling through the night. The curator reads the strip not as a scholar performing, but as a person hearing a rhythm. They breathe in slowly. Then with their exhale, they speak softly. One sound, then a pause, then another sound, not loud, not crisp. A murmured cadence that blends into the archive room like a lullaby sung in the next room. The syllables are unfamiliar, but the shape of them feels soothing. Short, long, short, short. Pause, short, long, short. The curator stops, looks at you, smiles faintly as if to say, "Do you feel it?" It is not a song that tries to excite you. It is a song that tries to steady you. And in that moment, the story gently expands like a wide breath filling a quiet chest, because you realize in Eridu, rhythm was everywhere, in water, in breath, in work, in the way the moon returned, in the way people pressed marks in clay with repeated motions. Scratch, pause, scratch. Even the simplest human task can become a kind of meditation when it's done slowly enough. The curator continues, speaking the cadence again, softer this time. And the archive room begins to shift, not suddenly, like a slow dissolve in a film. The lamp's warm pool of light becomes moonlight on wet reeds. The smooth museum table becomes a low writing board. The scent of clean dust becomes the scent of clay and water. You are back in Eridu, but not in the temple's inner room. You are in an open courtyard near the canal where a low wall breaks the wind. The night air is cool, but the ground holds warmth. An oil lamp burns beside a shallow bowl of water, its surface reflecting the flame in a trembling oval. A group of learners sits on woven mats. The older teacher is there again, the same calm presence, the same low voice that makes the day feel farther away. In front of each learner lies a small clay tablet, soft and damp enough to take marks. The teacher speaks quietly, and the learners repeat after them. Not loudly, like a bedtime prayer, a rhythm, a repetition. The teacher lifts a stylus and demonstrates, pressing, lifting, pressing again. Each wedge is made with care. And the sound returns, soothing as ever. Tap, press, tap, press. Each learner follows, their hands moving slowly, their shoulders soft. No one is rushing to finish. No one is being tested. This is not school as pressure. This is school as comfort. The teacher pauses and looks toward the canal, then back to the learners. They speak a sentence, and you catch its meaning not through translation, but through feeling. If you want to understand the world, begin with what repeats. Water repeats. Breath repeats. Night repeats. The return of stars repeats. And when you're tired, repetition is not boring. Repetition is safe. Have you ever noticed how, at bedtime, you often do the same things? Brush teeth, adjust the pillow, maybe check the door, maybe sip water. And the familiarity tells your body, it's okay now. The teacher's voice is like that familiarity. They point to the learners' tablets, then to the canal. Count, they say softly. Not count to stress, count to steady. The learners begin moving small stones again, tokens in shallow dishes, tap, slide, tap. Their hands look calm, their faces look relaxed. This is not the counting of anxiety, this is the counting of balance. The teacher lifts a larger tablet and turns it so the moonlight catches the marks. On it, you see a pattern that looks almost like waves, not actual drawn waves, but lines of wedges that rise and fall in a visual rhythm. The teacher traces the line in the air, then they ask the learners to close their eyes for a moment, and you close yours too. The teacher speaks, feel your breath. Inhale, exhale. The teacher pauses between words, feel how it returns. Inhale, exhale. Now feel the water. Even with eyes closed, you can hear it. The canal's soft murmur, the faint lapping at reed stems. Water returns. And in that calm moment, the teacher speaks of something that feels like the heart of Eridu's wisdom. We do not control everything, but we can return to what steadies us. We can return to breath, we can return to water, we can return to simple habits that make the world feel less sharp. The teacher opens their eyes, and you open yours too. In the moonlight, the canal looks like a ribbon of quiet silver. A learner lifts their tablet, proud but not loud. The teacher nods. Then the teacher gestures toward the sky. The learners tilt their heads up. You tilt your head up too. The stars are steady, scattered like small grains thrown across dark cloth. The moon is thin, a curved whisper. The teacher speaks of the stars not as a map for conquest, but as a calendar of care. When a certain cluster appears at dusk, it means the heat will ease. When another rises before dawn, it means planting time is near. When the sky looks hazy and low, it means water may change. The teacher does not list constellations by name. They keep it gentle. They keep it like a lullaby. The sky returns, and you can trust it. The teacher turns back to the learners' tablets. Right, they say softly, and the learners press wedges again. Tap, press. The rhythm becomes a soft blanket around you, and then, without warning but without shock, you feel the story's gentle climax beginning to form. Not in a burst, in an opening. Because you realize the tablet of destiny and the watchers and the Abzu are all different ways of holding one simple human need. The need to feel that life is not chaos. The need to feel that the universe is not only noise. The need to feel that you can rest. And as that realization settles, your mind begins to release its grip on the day. The teacher's voice becomes even quieter. Sometimes, they whisper, people fear the dark. The learners remain still, listening. But the dark is where stars appear. They pause. And the dark is where water rests. They pause again. And the dark is where you can rest too. In that moment, you feel the watcher's idea shift again, softly, beautifully. Not a mystery to solve, a symbol to soothe, a way of saying, even when you cannot see the world is still held. The teacher lowers their gaze to the tablets. You do not need to hold the whole world, they say. Just your breath. The learner's shoulders drop. Someone sighs, a deep, relieved sigh. The canal murmurs, the night holds, and the rhythm continues. Tap, press, tap, press. Then the teacher lifts the long clay strip, the one you saw in the museum, and places it carefully on the ground between the learners. They speak a phrase, and the learners repeat it in a low murmur. It feels like a chant, but not religious in a sharp way. More like a comfort phrase, a repeated sentence that reminds the body it is safe. The teacher's voice guides them, slow, warm, still. The learners repeat, slow, warm, still. The teacher repeats again a little softer, slow, warm, still. And you feel the words settle into your bones like warm water pouring into a cup. Slow, warm, still. The canal repeats. The stars repeat. The breath repeats. This is the gentle expansion. This is the soft climax, not a twist that wakes you, but a widening that calms you. The ancient world wasn't only full of mysteries, it was full of routines meant to soothe a human mind, and now those routines are soothing you. The teacher looks at you just briefly, as if they know you've come from a different time with different worries. Their eyes are kind. They speak quietly, like a friend speaking in the dark. You are not behind, they say. A simple sentence, but it lands softly like a hand on the shoulder. You are not failing, they add. Another soft landing. You are simply tired, they say, and tired people deserve gentleness. The learners keep pressing wedges. Tap. Press. Outside the courtyard, the canal's surface glints, and then, from far off, a new sound arrives, very faint. Not thunder, not alarm, the sound of wind shifting through reeds in a longer, lower sigh. The teacher hears it. The learners hear it. The teacher turns their head toward the canal, listening. They nod, as if confirming something. Then they speak one more time, softly, like a final invitation. Come, they whisper. Let the city bring you back to the water, and then back to rest. You rise with the group, unhurried. You step out into the night. And as you walk toward the canal again, you notice that the water's surface is even smoother now, calmer, darker, more mirror-like. Above it, the stars feel closer, and the moon, thin as a whisper, looks like it is smiling. You carry no burden, only breath, only rhythm, only the soft promise that the night knows how to hold you. You and the learners walk back toward the canal in a loose, quiet line, like a small procession that isn't trying to arrive anywhere fast. The courtyard's low lamp fades behind you, and the air grows cooler, sweeter, more watery. The reeds ahead look darker now, almost blue-black beneath the thin moon, and the canal's surface is so smooth it seems to hold the sky as if the sky were a blanket laid carefully across it. The teacher leads without speaking. Their steps are slow and certain, and the way a person walks through their own home at night without needing a light. The others follow with soft attention, shoulders low, hands relaxed. No one is asking questions. No one is proving anything. Tonight is not for proving. Tonight is for settling. When you reach the water, the teacher stops at a place where the bank widens into a small, flat platform of packed earth. A reed fence curves around it, turning it into a sheltered nook. The canal glides past with a quiet murmur, and somewhere in the reeds a small insect repeats a thin song. Steady, not urgent, like a metronome made of breath. The teacher kneels and places a shallow dish on the ground. Inside are a few smooth stones pale as bone in the moonlight. Another dish holds darker stones, warm brown like dried clay. The teacher sets a small cup of water between them, and the water reflects the moon as a trembling oval. Then the teacher looks at you. The look is gentle. It doesn't ask you to understand. It invites you to participate in something calming, the way a friend might invite you to sit by a fire after a long day. Count with me, the teacher whispers. Not the counting that tightens the chest. Not the counting that turns life into pressure. A softer counting, like counting breaths, or counting waves, or counting the slow moments before sleep arrives. The teacher lifts one pale stone and moves it to the other dish. Tap. The sound is small, rounded, soothing. They lift another. Tap. Then they pause as if leaving a space for your exhale. Tap. The rhythm is not strict, it is forgiving. It breathes. You notice your own breathing responding without effort, like a tide leaning toward the moon. Inhale. Exhale. The teacher points to the cup of water. Water counts too, they murmur. Not with numbers, with returns. You watch the canal's surface. A tiny ripple passes, then smooths. Another passes, then smooths. Return after return. A quiet repetition that does not demand your attention, only offers it. Have you ever noticed how your mind relaxes when it's allowed to repeat something simple, like washing dishes slowly, or folding a blanket, or stirring tea until the spoon's sound becomes a soft loop? The teacher gestures toward the long clay strip, the one with repeating wedges. A learner brings it forward and lays it carefully on a folded cloth, so it won't touch damp earth. Moonlight rests on the strip, and the marks look almost like the water's ripples, small rises and falls, pauses, continuations. The teacher whispers a few syllables again, matching the marks: short, long, short, pause, short, long, short. Then the teacher stops speaking and simply taps the stones, letting the rhythm carry the meaning. Tap, tap, pause, tap. You realize softly that the strip may have been more than record. It may have been practice, a way to train hands and minds to move steadily, a way to let people feel the order of the world, the way you feel order when you breathe slowly in the dark. The teacher lifts their gaze toward the sky. The stars are steady. The moon is thin. The reeds sway once, then settle. You see, the teacher whispers, the night is not empty. It is patterned. And in that sentence, watchers become something even gentler. Not a figure standing somewhere, not a story designed to frighten, but the calm fact that the sky keeps its shape while you rest. That the universe has rhythms you can borrow when you feel too tired to make your own. Here, no one rests alone. The teacher touches the edge of your tablet, the smaller one you've carried since the canal's glow. Their fingertip moves along its rounded corner, slow as a tide. Clay holds marks, they say. The body holds breath. They pause. Let your breath be your tablet tonight. If you like, breathe in now, slowly. And as you breathe out, imagine your exhale pressing a small, gentle mark into the air. A mark that says, I am here. I am safe. I can let go. The learners begin to hum, barely more than breath, following the teacher's rhythm. It isn't a song with a melody that grabs you. It's a low tone that smooths the inside of your head. Like distant traffic turning into white noise, like rain that doesn't ask anything from you. The teacher moves another stone, tap, another, tap. Then they stop and rest their palm on the earth, as if feeling the city's heartbeat through the ground. And you remember the excavation layers, blankets of time, eridu tucking itself in again and again. You remember the bowl rim, the bead, the hearth line, the reed impressions. You remember the bitumen smear, glossy and patient. All of it feels like one long lesson. Life is built from small, steady acts. The teacher speaks again, softer than before. Some people chase destiny, they whisper. But the kindest destiny is simple. Return. Return to breath. Return to water. Return to the small rituals that soften the mind. The teacher looks at you as if they can see the weight you carried today, the deadlines, the noise, the many invisible responsibilities. You have done enough, they whisper. And something in you believes it, because the night believes it, the canal believes it, the steady stars believe it. The teacher lifts the cup of water and pours a little onto the earth. The water darkens the dust in a small circle and sinks in quietly, as if the ground is drinking. A gift, the teacher says, not for gods, for balance. Then they pour a little into the canal, and the canal takes it without change, accepting, patient, moving on. As you walk, you notice the smallest things, the things you might overlook in daylight, a strand of reed fiber caught on a fence, the faint imprint of a sandal in damp soil. The way a sleeping dog, or perhaps only a shadow, rests curled near a doorway, chest rising and falling. A thin ribbon of smoke still lifts from a hearth somewhere, and it smells like dried grass and bread. You think of the world you left behind, the one made of speed. In that world, even your pauses can feel like guilt. Even your rest can feel like something you must earn. But here, beside a canal that has no deadline, you remember another truth. Rest is not a reward. Rest is part of the cycle, like the dark part of the moon, like the quiet part of winter, like the deep water beneath the world. If tonight's story is speaking to the tired places in you, let it. Let it touch those places the way moonlight touches water, without pushing, without prying. And if you notice thoughts returning, like ripples, you don't have to chase them away. You can simply watch them arrive, then watch them soften, then watch them pass. The teacher sets the cup down and speaks one last invitation, a gentle doorway into the final stretch of the story. "Come back to the quiet room," they whisper, "the one where tablets sleep." You stand with them. The learners rise too, unhurried. Together you walk along the canal, past reeds, past low walls, past the dim shapes of homes. The city is nearly asleep now. Even the lamps seem lower, warmer, as if they are preparing to close their eyes. In the distance, the temple mound sits like a dark shoulder against the sky. The teacher glances toward it, then back to you. "Up there," they whisper. The sky feels closer. A soft promise, a calm curiosity. And as you follow them toward the mound, step by slow step, you feel your thoughts thinning. Like mist dissolving over water, leaving only the steady rhythm beneath, slow, warm, still. You follow the teacher along the canal path until the temple mound rises ahead of you like a dark, patient shoulder against the night. No one hurries. Even the air seems to slow, as if it understands where you are going. The reeds thin out, the ground becomes firmer, and the moonlight paints a pale line along the path, just enough to guide your feet without waking the mind. Who are you right now? A tired person with a busy life, yes, but also a quiet traveler who has been given permission to rest. Where are you? On the edge of Eridu, the first city near water, walking toward a mound built from patience. When is it? Late at night, when the city's lamps have dimmed, and even the canals seem to speak in whispers. Why are you here? Not to solve a mystery, but to feel steadiness, the kind that makes sleep easier. What will happen? You will climb gently, and the sky will feel closer, and something small will open inside you. How will it happen? Step by slow step, breath by slow breath, like water moving through reeds. The teacher pauses at the base of the mound. The earth here is packed and smooth, shaped by many feet, many evenings, many quiet returns. A low stairway, more like a ramp with shallow steps, winds upward. The temple does not loom, it simply waits as if it has always known you would arrive when you needed calm. The learners gather behind you. Their faces are soft in the moonlight, their eyes heavy but peaceful. The teacher lifts one hand, palm down, and the group becomes still. "Slow," the teacher murmurs. The word feels like a blanket. "Warm," they add. The word feels like firelight. "Still," they finish. The word feels like a deep exhale. You take one step, then another. The climb is gentle, not steep, and each step feels like stepping deeper into a bedtime routine. The city slips downward behind you, low roofs, quiet courtyards, the faint glow of a single lamp. The canal remains beside you for a while, then curves away, leaving only its murmur in the distance. Up here, wind touches your face more clearly. It is cool, clean, and thin, carrying the scent of wet reeds and distant smoke. The stars look sharper. The sky feels wider. And you realize why the teacher brought you here. When you lift your eyes, the mind stops circling its small worries and begins to float in something larger. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt, for a brief moment, that your problems became lighter because the sky was so patient, so vast? Let that feeling arrive now. At the top of the mound, the teacher leads you into a simple, open platform, an upper courtyard of packed earth and low walls. There is no loud ceremony, no crowd, only a calm space that seems designed for listening. The teacher kneels near the wall and places a small oil lamp on a flat stone. They shield the flame with their hands until it steadies. The light is warm and low, and it makes the upper courtyard feel like a safe room inside the open sky. The learners sit. You sit too. The teacher gestures for you to set your tablet down in front of you. You do so gently, as if placing something that can sleep. Then the teacher reaches into a cloth bundle and draws out a few small items: a smooth stone, a reed stylus, and a tiny bowl of water. The bowl is shallow, and when the lamp's light hits it, the surface trembles like a living mirror. The teacher speaks quietly, not to lecture, but to soothe. In the first city, they say, we learned that the world is not held by noise. They pause, letting silence settle like soft dust. It is held by habits. They touch the stone. Water returns. They touch the bowl. Breath returns. They lift the stylus. Marks return. Then they look at you, eyes kind in the lamp's glow. And you can return. Return. The word lands gently. It does not demand, it invites. If your day has been full of pushing through tasks, pushing through traffic, pushing through feelings you didn't have time to name, let your body hear that word as permission. You can return to yourself. The teacher turns the bowl slightly so the moon's reflection slips across the water. Sometimes, they whisper, people imagine watchers. The learners remain calm. The teacher continues, soft as wind. Not hunters, not judges. Watchers like stars, steady, distant, faithful. They lift their gaze to the sky. When you cannot hold your own thoughts, they say, borrow the sky's steadiness. Borrow the sky, borrow the canal, borrow the rhythm. You feel your chest loosen, almost like something unclenching. The teacher picks up the smooth stone and places it on the ground. Then they place another stone beside it, then another. A small line forms 3 stones in a row. Count with kindness, the teacher whispers. They tap the first stone softly. Tap. Then the second. Tap. Then the third. Tap. The sound is tiny. The repetition is soothing. The upper courtyard becomes a cradle of pattern. Tap. Tap, tap, then silence, then tap again. You realize the teacher is doing with stones what you might do with breathing exercises or with the gentle repetition of a phrase before sleep. The old world and the modern world meet here quietly. The teacher invites you with a small gesture. You tap a stone, tap. The sound is round and harmless. You tap another, tap. And as you do, you notice your shoulders dropping, your jaw loosening, your eyes growing heavier. Your body understands this language. The teacher smiles faintly, pleased. Then they slide your clay tablet closer to the bowl of water so the lamp's light can graze its marks. The wedges catch brightness, then release it, like tiny stars blinking through reeds. Writing, the teacher whispers, is not only for memory. They pause. It is also for comfort. Comfort, yes. A mark that says, someone was here. A mark that says, you can rest. A mark that says, the world does not end when you close your eyes. The teacher lifts the reed stylus and presses a single wedge into a small, fresh piece of clay beside the lamp. The motion is slow. The sound is quiet. Press, release. They do it again. Press, release. Then they do it a third time, and the 3 wedges form a small pattern, simple, balanced, calm. The teacher turns the clay toward you. See? They whisper. Even a small pattern can steady the mind. And you feel the soft truth. Your mind doesn't always need answers. Sometimes it only needs a safe rhythm. If tonight's story reminds you of a time you felt safe, maybe on a porch at night, maybe in a quiet kitchen, maybe in a car while rain tapped the roof, let that memory come. You don't have to hold it tightly, just let it hover like warm light. The teacher looks beyond the low wall toward the canal's direction. Even from here, you can hear the water faintly, a constant hush in the distance. People fear floods, the teacher murmurs, keeping the idea gentle and far away. But we learned something kinder than fear. They glance at you. We learned preparation can be peaceful. And the image returns, hands smoothing bitumen along a reed boat, layer after layer, slow and patient, sealing calm into the seams. Your life, the teacher says softly, also has seams. Seams! The places where stress leaks in, the places where worry seeps through. The teacher's voice becomes a whisper you can almost feel more than hear. Tonight, seal the seams with gentleness. Not by fixing everything, not by thinking harder, by resting, by letting sleep do its quiet work. The learners sit very still now. Some have closed their eyes. One person's head has tilted slightly forward, chin soft as if already drifting. The teacher lowers the lamp flame a little. The light becomes even warmer, even smaller, like a hearth turning into embers. Then the teacher asks a question, so softly it feels like a thought you might have had on your own. Have you ever noticed, they whisper, that the smallest moments can stretch time? They pause. Steam from tea, they add, rising slowly. They pause again. A spoon tapping a mug. A pause, a page turning. The teacher's voice is almost the page turning itself. If you've had a moment like that, they say, hold it loosely tonight. Let it be a lantern. A lantern. You feel it, this community, this quiet corner of night. Here, no one rests alone. The teacher's gaze returns to the tablet you've carried. They place 2 fingers near its edge, not touching the marks, only near them, as if greeting the person who made them. Long ago, they whisper, someone pressed these wedges and then slept. They smile faintly. Tonight, they say, you will do the same. The teacher lifts their hand and gestures toward the stairs down the mound. Come, they whisper. We return to the quiet room where tablets sleep, then we return to you. Return again. Down the gentle steps you walk as if descending into softness. The city's lamps are dimmer now, the canal's murmur grows closer, the air becomes warmer near the walls, sheltered from wind. The teacher leads you into a small inner room near the base of the mound, simple, cool, safe. Shelves line the walls. Clay tablets rest there like small loaves, stacked and silent. The lamp inside is lower than the one above, and the room smells faintly of clay, dried reeds, and clean dust. The teacher points to the shelves. See how they rest, they whisper. Nothing is required of them right now. The teacher turns to you, and nothing is required of you. If your mind tries to bargain, one more thought, one more plan, one more worry, let the shelves answer, not now. The teacher invites you to place your tablet among the others. You do, carefully. The clay is cool, the shelf is steady, and when you withdraw your hands, you feel the strange relief of letting something go. The teacher dims the lamp until it is only a small ember of light. Then they speak the words again, slow, warm, still, like a final seal on the night. Slow, they whisper, warm, still. They pause, letting silence do what it does best. And in that silence, you hear the canal outside, steady as breath. You hear the reeds brushing like pages. You hear your own heartbeat, calmer now. The teacher offers one last gentle hook, a soft thread leading toward the ending without pulling you awake. Tomorrow, they whisper, we will leave the city and watch the stars over open water. And you will understand why the past can feel like a hand on your shoulder. The room remains dim. Your body feels heavier in the kindest way. And the night, patient and wide, continues to hold you. The lamp in the tablet room has been turned so low it feels more like an ember than a light. For a while, no one moves. Not because anyone is frozen, only because stillness has become the most natural thing in the world. Outside, the canal keeps its soft murmur, a steady hush that feels like the night breathing through reeds. Inside, the shelves hold their clay tablets in quiet stacks like loaves cooling after baking. Nothing demanded of them now, only rest. The teacher sits near the doorway, eyes half-lidded, listening. You sit too, feeling your body heavier in that kind way that means you're finally safe enough to stop holding yourself up. And then, gently, the night begins to change. Not with a jolt, with a thinning, with a subtle shift in the air, as if the sky is preparing a new color. The teacher opens their eyes and smiles softly, like someone who has been awake long enough to recognize the moment before dawn. Come, they whisper, no urgency. Only an invitation. You rise with the learners and follow the teacher out into the open air. The city is almost entirely asleep now. Doormats hang still. Courtyards are dark. A few embers glow behind low walls like small hidden hearts. The path leads away from the mound, away from the tight cluster of homes, toward the marshland where the reeds stand taller and the world feels wider. As you walk, the air cools a little more. The scent of water grows stronger, the canal's sound fades behind you, and another sound takes its place, so faint at first you could miss it. Open water. Not waves crashing, not wind roaring, just the soft, broad hush of a larger surface breathing in the dark. The teacher guides the group along a narrow ridge between two wet stretches. Your footsteps are careful but calm, the mud is firm enough to hold you. Reeds brush your sleeves, cool and gentle, and you feel as though the world is touching you softly, reminding you to slow down. If you like, take a slow breath in now, and as you breathe out, imagine your thoughts drifting behind you on the path, growing smaller, less important, like lamps fading in a distant city. After a few minutes, the reeds begin to open, the ground widens, and you reach the edge of a broad, still expanse, water stretching out under the night sky like a mirror laid perfectly flat. This is not a river canal you can step over. This is the marsh's open heart, quiet, wide and patient. The teacher stops at the bank and lets the group settle into stillness. Some sit on the damp earth without concern. Others remain standing, shoulders relaxed, faces lifted slightly. You stand near the edge and look out. The water reflects the stars so clearly that it feels like you are looking into two skies at once, one above, one below. And between them, you. Small, yes, but not lost. Have you ever felt that? How a wide sky can make the mind stop arguing with itself. The teacher speaks very softly, as if the words are meant to float rather than land. This, they whisper, is where the past feels like a hand on your shoulder. They pause, letting the water say the rest. In the stillness, you begin to notice things you would never notice in a loud day. The way the stars tremble in reflection when a tiny ripple passes. The way the horizon isn't a line, but a gentle blend of dark shapes. The way your own breath seems louder here, not because it's loud, but because everything else has gotten quiet enough to hear it. The teacher kneels and places the small bowl of water on the ground, just at the edge of the bank. The bowl's surface catches the faint light of the sky, a miniature mirror of the larger water. "See," the teacher murmurs. They point to the bowl, then to the marsh. "Small water and big water." They point to your chest. "Small breath and big breath." They lift their gaze to the stars. "Small life and big time." The words are not meant to make you feel insignificant. They are meant to make you feel held, because if time is big, then your worries do not have to be bigger than your body can carry. The teacher sits back on their heels and speaks again, gently, like telling a child a bedtime truth. "Stars return," they say, "even if you don't watch them." They pause. "Water returns," they add, "even if you don't ask it." They pause again. "And calm returns," they whisper, "even if you've forgotten how." A learner beside you exhales, a long, relieved breath. The teacher smiles faintly as if they've heard that breath many times in many centuries. Then, from the open water, something happens, subtle, beautiful, and quiet enough not to wake you. A line of pale light appears on the surface, not a beam, not a flash, a slow widening band like the first hint of dawn gathering behind the horizon, reflected in the water before it appears in the sky. The teacher watches it with calm appreciation. "Morning," they whisper, and yet the sky still looks dark. The stars still hold their places. It's as if the water is remembering dawn before the world can see it. That thought softens you, because maybe your own life is like that sometimes. Maybe calm can begin in you quietly before you can even name it. Maybe healing starts as a faint band of light, long before it becomes daylight. The teacher's voice becomes even softer, almost like wind passing through reeds. "Long ago," they say, "people imagined watchers." The learners remain still. The teacher continues, not to frighten themselves, to comfort themselves. They gesture toward the stars reflected on the water. "Watchers like stars," they whisper, "that do not chase you, only stay." They gesture toward the water itself. "Watchers like water," they add, "that does not judge you, only holds." They look at you. "And watchers like kindness," they whisper, "the kind you can give yourself when no one else is watching." That last sentence lands with a warm heaviness because it feels true. In the modern world, you're watched by clocks, by messages, by expectations, but those are not the watchers the teacher means. These watchers are gentle. They do not demand. They simply witness, like the night witnessing you breathe. The teacher asks a question so soft it feels like it's already inside your head. What if the only destiny you need tonight is rest? Rest. You feel your eyes grow heavier, your jaw loosens, your shoulders drop another fraction, and you realize, yes, that is enough. The teacher reaches into a cloth bundle and brings out something small, a pinch of clay, damp and pliable. They place it in your palm. It is cool, soft, alive with possibility. "Press," the teacher whispers. They hand you a reed stylus. You hesitate, not from fear, only from gentleness, as if you don't want to disturb the moment. But the teacher's gaze is kind. This is not a test. This is a ritual. You place the stylus tip against the clay and press once. A small wedge appears, then you press again. Another wedge, then a third, 3 marks, simple and balanced. You don't know what they mean, and it doesn't matter. What matters is how your body feels while you do it. Present, steady, quiet. The teacher nods as if your body has spoken the language correctly. "Small marks," they whisper, "for a big night." They gesture toward the open water again. Everything you need to do can be small. The teacher's voice now feels like a tide. In the first city, they say, people wrote to remember, they counted to share, they sealed boats to stay safe. They pause. And they looked at the sky, they whisper, to feel less alone. Here, no one rests alone. Every story from the past is a soft lantern in the dark, gently lighting our way tonight. The band of pale light on the water grows wider, softer, like a blanket being spread. The stars begin to fade, not all at once but slowly, the way thoughts fade when sleep arrives. One star dims, then another, and in their place, the sky becomes a smoother shade of dark blue. The teacher watches the fading stars with peace. They aren't gone, they whisper. They're only resting behind light. Resting behind light. You hold that phrase like a warm stone in your hand, because it feels like a message meant for you. Your calm isn't gone. It's resting behind the day. It will return when you let it. The teacher stands and helps a learner to their feet with a gentle hand. The group begins to turn back toward the city. But you remain at the water's edge for one more moment. You look out across the still surface. You see the last few stars trembling in reflection. You see the faint widening of dawn, and you feel deeply, quietly, that your life is part of something larger than your urgent thoughts. Water, sky, breath, return. The teacher calls softly, not from far away. Come, they whisper again. We'll let the cities sleep, and then we'll let you sleep. You follow. The reeds close around the path again, soft walls of green-black. The city's low shapes appear, dim and safe. And somewhere inside Eridu, inside the museum, inside your own mind, the tablets of memory remain quiet, resting, not asking for anything. As you walk, the teacher speaks one last sentence, a gentle thread pulling you toward the ending. Tonight, they whisper. You don't have to carry time, you only have to float. You return to Eridu as if you are returning to the safest part of yourself. Who is walking now? You, soft-eyed, slowed down, no longer carrying the sharp edges of the day. The teacher walks ahead, and the learners follow like a small river of quiet bodies. Where are you going? Back through reed-shadowed paths, back toward low walls and sleeping courtyards, back toward the room where clay tablets rest like warm bread cooling on a shelf. When is it? In that tender seam between night and morning, when the stars have begun to fade, but the world has not yet asked you to begin again. What is the gentle purpose? To release the day and drift into sleep. How? By returning, again and again, to breath. What do you bring with you? Only the soft rhythm you learned, water, breath. Return, and that is enough tonight. The reeds close around the path as you pass, brushing your sleeves with cool, friendly fingers. The air smells of wet earth and faint smoke, and the city's dim shapes appear again, mud brick walls that hold warmth, reed roofs that keep out wind, doorways draped with woven mats like eyelids half closed. Somewhere a dog shifts in its sleep and exhales. Somewhere a clay jar clicks softly as it settles into its place. Somewhere a thin thread of smoke rises from a hearth that has been turned down to embers, and the smoke smells like dried grass and bread. The canal murmurs, still moving, still patient, still doing what it has always done, carrying the night forward one slow inch at a time. You pass a small courtyard where a cup has been left upside down beside a jar, as if someone meant to wash it in the morning. You pass a reed boat pulled up onto the bank, its seams dark with bitumen, shiny even in dim light. You pass a low fence where reed fibers hang like quiet ribbons. These are the city's small details, the ones that never make it into grand stories. And yet these details are the true heartbeat of a place. and you realize something tender. The past was made of ordinary evenings, the end of a workday, the soft relief of taking off weight, the shared quiet of people who have nothing left to prove, the long, steady hope that tomorrow can be met gently. You reach the tablet room again, the small inner space that feels like a pocket sewn into the world. The lamp is nearly out, the shelves are full. Clay tablets sit in stacks that look almost like folded letters, messages from hands that no longer move, offered to hands that still do. No one speaks for a while. In the quiet, you notice your breathing, how it has become lower, fuller, less defended. You notice your body, how it has stopped bracing. You notice your mind, how the usual hurry has thinned into a distant, harmless hum. The teacher kneels beside the shelves and touches the wood lightly, not as if checking, but as if thanking. Then they turn to you with a look that is calm enough to feel like warmth. "Tonight," the teacher whispers, "you didn't chase the past." They pause. You listened. Listen to water. Listen to breath. Listen to the small, repeating comforts that have kept human beings steady for longer than any calendar. The teacher gestures toward the shelves, toward the clay. "Marks," they whisper, "are not only information." They glance at you as if speaking directly to the tired places in your life. They are permission. Permission to remember without clinging. Permission to let a day end. Permission to set the mind down the way you set a cup down after the last sip. The learners settle along the wall. Some lean back, some close their eyes. One person's head dips forward, and you can tell they are already drifting, held by the room's quiet. The teacher lowers the lamp until the flame becomes a tiny ember, more glow than light. Outside, the canal continues its quiet sentence. Inside, the room becomes almost weightless, and then, like a slow exhale, the edges of the room soften again. The shelves blur gently. The ember light turns into the warm pool of a museum lamp. The smell of wet reeds becomes clean dust and old paper. Mud brick walls become white-painted archive walls. The teacher becomes the curator again, still calm, still slow, still careful. You are standing beside a pale wooden table. A clay fragment lies there, ordinary and miraculous at once. A small piece of earth pressed by a hand that never knew your name, and yet still speaking to you across time in the quiet language of texture and patience. The curator doesn't speak loudly. They simply slide a drawer closed and rest their hand on the table, as if to steady you. "You see," they whisper, "how the past rests." You nod, even if only inside. The curator returns the fragment to its padded box. They close the lid slowly, gently, as if tucking something in. They switch off the archive lamp, and the room dims into a softer darkness. And then one more gentle shift, your imagination steps back again from archive to home. Maybe you are in your bedroom now. Maybe you are on a couch with a blanket pulled up. Maybe you are listening from a quiet car parked somewhere safe. Maybe you are in a room where the day's light has finally left, and the only brightness is a streetlight filtered through curtains, or the faint glow of a device dimmed down. Wherever you are here. And here, no one rests alone. Every story from the past is a soft lantern in the dark, gently lighting our way tonight. If your mind tries to reach for tomorrow, if it tries to open the list again, to replay the conversation again, to solve the feeling again, let it do so gently, not with a fight, not with frustration. Just notice it, the way you notice a ripple on water. A thought rises, a thought passes. Water does not panic when a ripple appears. Water simply holds it until it smooths. So if a worry appears, let it float. If a plan appears, let it float. If a memory appears, sweet or bittersweet, let it float. You don't have to push anything away to sleep. You can simply let everything soften. In the distance of your imagination, Eridu remains, low land near water, reeds moving like slow breaths, lamps dim in courtyards, clay tablets resting on shelves, 17 layers like blankets, a city that learned how to begin again. And if you need a quiet reflection tonight, take this one. The strongest thing in human history may not be conquest. It may be the gentle habit of returning to water, returning to breath, returning to care, returning to one small step at a time. In your own life, you have layers too. Days stacked on days, seasons stacked on seasons, years stacked like soft sediment, some bright, some heavy, some simply tiring. You don't have to judge the layers. You don't have to rename them or fix them right now. You can simply let them be what they are, proof that you have lived and kept living and kept rebuilding in your own quiet ways. And if you want to add one more soft layer tonight, one more blanket for your own heart, let it be gratitude. Not the loud kind, but the quiet kind. Gratitude for the glass of water that waited for you. Gratitude for the chair that held you. Gratitude for the breath that kept returning even when you forgot to notice it. You can even thank the day gently for ending. You can thank the night gently for arriving. If you've been hard on yourself lately, if your inner voice has been sharp, try something softer just for tonight. Speak to yourself the way the teacher spoke beside the canal. You have done enough. You are allowed to rest. You are not behind. You are simply human. And if the idea of watchers returns, those imagined presences in old stories, hold it in the gentlest form, not eyes that judge, not shadows that chase. Watchers like stars, steady, patient, quiet. Watchers like water, holding, cooling, forgiving. Watchers like kindness, the kind you can offer your own mind as it drifts. Imagine that the night itself is a watcher, present, calm, unhurried, staying with you until you fall asleep. Now, if you like, let's do one last small ritual. No effort, no strain. Breathe in, slowly, as if drawing in cool air from a marsh at night. And breathe out, slowly, as if releasing warm air onto the surface of still water. Again, in, slow, out, soft. And one more time. In, slow, out, soft. If your eyes are open, let them become heavier. If they are closed, let the darkness feel friendly. If you can hear sounds around you, the hum of a fan, a distant car, the quiet of your house, let them be like the canal, background music, steady, unimportant, safe. And if you are ready, let these words settle into you like a lullaby written in clay. Slow, warm, still, slow, warm, still, slow, warm, still. Behind your eyelids, imagine a wide, calm surface of water. One last ripple smooths out. Above it, a few stars remain, faint dots of silver, then they soften too, like lights dimmed for rest. Somewhere in the distance, a shelf of clay tablets sits quiet and complete, each mark held safely, needing nothing from you. And in that same gentle way, your thoughts can rest now, held, not solved. If tonight's story reminded you of a beautiful memory, feel free to share it below. Only when you're ready, only when it feels gentle. You don't have to hold the whole world. You only have to float. If this story brought you calm, leave a gentle comment for yourself. And if you'd like more peaceful nighttime journeys through the ancient world, don't forget to subscribe to Ancient Sleep Story. Where are you listening from tonight? If you feel like sharing, tell us below. Your presence adds warmth to this quiet corner of the night.
Our story pauses here. Every visual and word you've experienced was assisted by AI, yet guided and perfected by sincere human emotion. We hope this harmony of history and technology has crafted a beautiful dream for you tonight. Let go and drift deep into sleep. Good night.